Legend has it that the moss grows on the north side of the trees. Well, legend has it when the rains come down, all the worms come up to breathe. Well, legend has it when the sunbeams come, all the plants stay even with their leaves. Well, legend has it that the world spins round on an axis of 23 degrees. But have you heard the story of the rabbit in the moon, or the cow that walked the planet while straddling the spoon, or she who left the mountains while sitting on...
Welcome to the inaugural voyage of False Facts. I'm the captain of the soon-to-be shipwrecked, Liam Chappell.
And I'm your co-captain, Joel Chappell.
This is a show where we take a look at common myths and misconceptions. We talk about the origin, history, and truth behind them. In each episode, we will discuss a few random false facts, and then brutally debunk them.
This should never be used educationally, because we are not trained professionals and don't know what we're talking about.
Alright, so Joel.
I just realized that you have a pomegranate wine candle sitting here.
Yeah, it smells good.
It smells real good.
Yeah, it smells real good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it smells real good.
Yeah.
I would light it on fire if we weren't in this recording booth.
Yeah, no, definitely something would burn up when we die.
Oh yeah, something would definitely catch on fire, and it would probably be me.
Yeah,
I'm closest to it.
Yeah, you're closer to that,
And I have a history of getting lit on fire.
Yeah.
So let's not do that.
What's our first topic for today?
How tetanus doesn't come from rusty metal.
I really don't fully know what tetanus is. I don't know what it does. I know that tetanus is an infection from bacteria, but I don't know what it does.
It's a bacteria, which I'm going to screw up the pronunciation of this. Clostridium tetani. Clostridium tetani. That's how I'm going to be calling it until somebody else tells me how to say it better.
Clostridium tetani.
That bacteria is found in all sorts of places. Dirt, salivas, like dirt and like manure. And it can enter the bloodstream through like cuts and stuff like that.
Oh, that's why they recommend if you get cut by rusty metal, because then it gets to your body through that cut.
Because it's rusty metal and it's dirty.
Okay, I mean that makes sense.
Yeah, wash your hands, please. Tetanus, now you know how it gets into you. What it does is it affects the nervous system, specifically around your face and neck.
Okay.
Which is why it's called lockjaw, because it locks up your face.
That's what lockjaw is? I thought lockjaw was something where you got I guess I thought it was just bacteria that just causes you not to be able to move your mouth.
That's literally what I just said.
Alright.
It is bacteria that gets into your body, affects the nervous system, and locks your jaw up. You can't move it. Because it affects your nervous system, it can affect your ability to breathe properly.
How do I know if I have it, though? Because, I've touched rusty metal. I was on an archaeological dig, and there's plenty of rusty stuff. What if I have it?
So, you'd have known it by now, because you've been back for about 2 weeks or so.
That's fair.
Okay, so it starts with, spasms and stiffness around your face and your neck, and it pretty much just affects your ability to do stuff there before it actually locks it up.
Okay, so it just makes it kind of
spasms, stiffness, and can affect even, more than just your face and your neck, but, even down into your, chest and abdomen.
Okay, so it just makes your body, stiff and kind of sore?
Yeah.
Okay.
After that, you can start developing a fever and elevated heart rates and elevated blood pressures, and then your body locks up and you stop and die.
That sounds a lot worse than what I thought would happen. I thought I'd just lose them.
Well,
which I guess is still pretty bad.
But I feel like cutting your arm off to avoid getting tetanus is somehow a bigger problem.
Yeah, we have vaccines for it, so
with the presence of vaccines. Being I got a cut and now I'm sorry to feel this. Let me cut my arm off. That's... Okay, now that we know what it can do and what it does and where it comes from, let's talk about rust, which is the most common way getting it, supposedly.
So rusty nail will give it to me?
No, but kind of yes. So it's more correlation than causation. Let's first discuss what rust is. So rust is a chemical compound known as iron oxide, which just happens when iron is oxidized. Iron wants to like shoot off all these little electrons, and they just want to like piece out of there. So water helps those electrons escape out of the metal, and so you just have it just kind of decomposing. When you have metal in a place where it can rust, it's generally in a not very sanitary environment, which leads to lots of bacteria.
Like tetanus bacteria?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Bacteria that I said that I'm not going to say again because I can't say it properly, along with a bunch of other stuff, just hangs out with it and everywhere else. But since rusty metal is decomposing and therefore has more sharp edges, places to cut you on, it just happens to be there.
So it's not from the rust, it's just from the stuff living in the rust.
Yeah, because so it's on the bacteria is just on all the places there around this rusty metal, but you're more likely to cut your hand on the rusty metal because it's falling apart.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's not... Okay,
Yeah.
makes sense. Speaking of bacteria, cold season's coming up. It's almost autumn, right?
Got like another, week? 2
Yeah.
weeks?
I don't know.
Year or two?
Yes. 3 more years, it'll finally be autumn. We live in Narnia land. Yeah, so most people get a cold, around autumn, winter time, right? And
I don't get cold.
you're lucky, because I do.
I'm too powerful.
Just the bicentennial man. I hope that joke makes sense. I haven't watched that movie in like 10 years.
I have never seen Bicentennial Man. What is this movie?
Oh, if I remember right, it's a movie about a guy that's like, I think he can run really good.
It sounds vaguely.
No, and it's not Forrest Gump. It's another movie about
I don't know if
the
I would say
protagonist
that
can
Forrest
run really
Gump
good.
is known for running really good. Of all the things, it's like...
He's known for running. That's the whole thing. You run, Forrest, run.
Yeah.
What do people know? Chocolate? But like running's his thing. He runs across the entire state, or country. Back to colds. A common thing that people tell you when you have a cold is to drink some like orange juice, right? And do you know why you're told to drink orange juice?
Because juice makes everything better?
Yes, but it's vitamin C, right? Vitamin C is in oranges. It is supposedly good at fighting off colds. But it's actually not true. It doesn't actually help you fight off the colds. Now, drinking, like loading up on vitamin C before you get a cold can reduce the effects of the cold. So, like, if you drink a bunch of orange juice or eat a bunch of limes, you can lower the effects.
And scurvy.
Yeah, and scurvy. Yeah, that's one of the reasons. Another reason they would eat a lot of limes on chips is because
They get colds.
yeah, colds and scurvy and all that stuff. Vitamin C, like citrus fruits have a lot of antioxidants and vitamins and stuff that are good for you. So yeah, that's why pirates ate limes, because colds.
I like it when it's straight from pirates, not like people who were, at sea for long periods of time.
Only people at sea are pirates. If you're on the sea, you're a pirate. I'm sorry. That's the law.
Just pirate from other pirates?
Yeah. Like, I don't make the
Just
rules.
endless war?
It's Pirate War.
Pirate War.
Tom Clancy, Pirate Wars. It's the sequel to Ghost Protocol. Okay.
What? I'm not even sure what that kind of game would be. Are we playing like classic, like Golden Age of
No.
Piracy?
It's pirates, like
Is that
like
just
Blackbeard
Call of
pirates,
Duty?
but with
water.
AK-47s.
Isn't that Waterworld?
The Mario level?
No, the really bad movie.
There's a movie called Waterworld.
Yeah, it's like Mad Max but wet.
Mad Max, but wet.
That's not my joke. Other people have described it as Mad Max but wet.
Imagine a poster. Waterworld. Mad Max, but wet.
I'm not even joking. That's like it's like famous for like being really bad because at like 10 because I had to make like all these sets that could like actually float.
Did they float?
They did.
Oh, okay.
But they cost so much money, and the movie was so bad that they weren't able to like make money off of it.
Well, that's what you do when you make a movie called Waterworld. Like
it sounds like an amusement park.
Yeah, it's a nickname for a level of Mario.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
It was like an actual like amusement park that would like exist.
But actually, you bringing up water isn't actually too far off from this topic. Another thing a lot of people bring up about colds is that like going outside, and if you're kind of wet or you have wet hair, something like that, can actually increase your chances of cold.
Yeah, it increases my chance of having cold hair.
Yeah, no, but actually doesn't increase your chance of getting sick. Now, you probably being outside and cold has a number of issues that can come along with it. Like, it can lead to lung issues if you're breathing too much cold air. If the air is too cold, cool your lungs down too much. That's unhealthy. But it doesn't actually give you a cold. Actually, you're more likely to get a cold inside, especially during the wintertime, because that's where everybody is, and people pass on the germs and stuff to each other when you're inside with a bunch of people.
Wait, someone told me where colds come from?
It's a viral infection. So it's caused by a virus.
Yes.
It generally affects your nose and your throat, and your upper respiratory tract. The people who are affected by colds the most are generally younger people, and then sometimes older people as well, kind of like elderly people. But it's especially like kids under 6. Their immune system's kind of developing, and it's easier to target them. That's why you'll see a lot of kids who have colds for big chunks of time. Generally, by the time when you're more of an adult, you may have 2 or 3 a year, and they last a week. So the general symptoms, as everyone knows of a cold, are runny nose, sore throat, cough, congestion, headaches, sneezing, that type of stuff. They can sometimes cause fevers. The general way that you can get a cold is by touching something that's been affected. That's why it's really important to wash your hands. Yeah, so a lot of times touching utensils, towels, blankets, toys, stuff like that. Remote controls and telephones are things that also you can get it from. Doorknobs, things like that. Like shared stuff. That's where you're most likely to get it because it transfers from me to you. That's why when you sneeze or cough, you should do the vampire thing where you put your face in your the crook of your elbow.
I have never heard that called the vampire thing.
That's what everybody calls it. What do you call it?
Covering your mouth when you sneeze and cough.
Most people do it with their hand.
There is a
it's more intuitive
certain circle of hell for this.
Yeah, you should do vampire cough because like Dracula, pull your elbow up,
Yeah, you just keep saying it, but it's not gonna make it any more real to me.
So yeah,
that's a good point. Can vampires get illnesses?
Well, they do drink a lot of blood.
They do. So they can't. Can they get
Well, they could get tetanus because it goes in your blood. If I had tetanus and they sucked my blood, they could get tetanus. Probably.
Can a vampire get tetanus?
That's why they don't like being stabbed with steaks, because it gives them tetanus. It's like a dirty steak.
But that would give anybody, if had tetanus on that bacteria, it would give anybody it.
Yeah, that's fair.
So can you give would vampires be most susceptible to blood-related diseases? I'm thinking yes.
Probably. But wait, hang on. But they do that? Do vampires have blood?
Well, they do when they suck it out of you.
Okay, but do they have blood of their own? Do they have their own blood? Because I've never seen someone drink water. I see always drinking wine or blood.
Is that wine or is that just blood in a wine glass?
Ooh, that's fair.
I'm pretty sure that's that one.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, I guess you could give them blood diseases, blood illnesses.
Yeah, blood poisoning.
Blood poisoning. Yeah. Thank you for saying it better than I did.
Oh, also, you probably drinking a lot of blood is probably not good for you. Upsets your stomach.
Obviously, just going to it.
That's another thing I always wondered. Does it go to their stomach, or does it somehow just go into their veins, the blood that they drink?
So that's an interesting question because they need to keep feeding and getting more blood. So where does the blood go?
Well, where does the blood go?
Where does it go?
When a vampire eats your neck, where does the blood go?
Yeah, if they suck blood.
Hey, maybe that's what that book, Interview with the Vampire, is about. Maybe that's what Anne Rice is wondering. Where does the blood go? I haven't read that book.
Okay, but so think about it this way. So, your body needs to keep making blood cells.
Look, we're not vampire experts. I wish I was a vampirologist. That's what I'm going to do. Changing majors. I'm a vampirologist now. But if you want to know more about vampires, listen to Lore, Episode 1. It's a great podcast by Aaron Mankey.
Wait, what's it called?
Lore.
This is another podcast?
Yeah, it's a podcast. It's Aaron Mankey. He's really good. He has a book, an Amazon Prime show that I think has got 2 or 3 seasons.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's really good. I like it a lot.
Who is this?
Aaron Mankey. I said the name 3 times.
That doesn't tell me who it is.
Yeah, he's a guy that does lore. He also has another one called Cabinet of Curiosities that's very good. And they're like shorter, like 10-minute things. They're kind of weird stuff. It's about like kind of dark things, urban legends, cryptids, that type of stuff. So like one's about like the Jersey Devil, and there's another one that's about like the Murder Mansion of H.H. Holmes and stuff like that. And they're really good. I recommend them. Anyway, back to colds. So cleaning stuff is the best way to get around it, not vitamin C. The cold is not going to give it to you. Now, you are more likely to get it around cold seasons, but it's not from the cold. And kind of like the rust and tetanus, it doesn't cause the other one. It's just more likely around that. Your immune system's generally a little bit weaker around this time of year. You're around more people. You're inside more. They tend to breed inside. So that's why you're more likely to get it during the cold weather, not because it's cold. So you can go outside during the cold, not get cold. You might get bronchitis if you're out there too long and you're not breathing well, but not a cold. So vitamin C is good for you, but not the cure for colds. That's, water and rest and cleanliness.
Okay.
Speaking of water, you're supposed to drink 8 glasses of water a day?
I have heard that, and I don't do it.
Yeah, me neither. Most people probably don't, actually. There's actually the research behind drinking a glass of water a day, like where it came from, is most people don't know. It's just something that's been kind of tossed around since like the late 1800s. People had people said, "Oh, you should drink 8 glasses of water a day," right?
Yeah.
Now it's 8-ounce glasses, so not just like 8 any size glasses.
Oh, okay.
Because 8 pints of water is, or 8.
I've done that before.
Yeah, it's a lot of water.
It is.
Water is the main component of your body. You're mostly water.
Yep. About 70%.
Yeah, 60 to 70% of you is water, and it's necessary for life. You couldn't filter your body if you didn't have water. It's the main ingredient of blood. It helps you be able to move around and regulates your temperature, right? Keeps your brain alive. If you didn't have it, you wouldn't live. And it's expended through breathing and sweat and things like urination and that type of thing. It gets rid of that water, so you have to drink more. The amount of water that you're recommended to drink actually kind of depends on who you are. So if you're, on average, men are supposed to drink a little bit more water than women, up to half an ounce to an ounce more. And then, if you're larger or smaller, you should drink more or less water. It depends on your lifestyle. So if you do a lot of exercise, you should probably drink more water, just because you need to replenish that sweat. You're burning through it more. If you live somewhere where it's hotter, you should probably drink a lot more water. As you know, hot, humid places, you tend to sweat more.
Yeah.
So you tend to, go through water more. Some people have a tendency to get dehydrated quicker, and so they require more water. Like you tend to, compared to me, you get dehydrated quicker. You don't.
Unfortunately.
I can go days with, a glass or 2 in a day and be fine. While doing, stuff
My brother,
outside.
you are a fool. A fool, I tell you. Drink more water than that.
I know I should. I'm not a healthy person. I don't like how water tastes, and that's a...
But what?
What?
Do something with the water then.
Yeah, that's a lot of work. It's okay, like what? Make tea?
No, just crunch ice.
Oh.
Okay, look. Okay, if you can make tea, that's good. However, do you like the what are the things? Like a little packet? Like you put in
Crystallized?
the crystallized stuff, yeah.
And those are mostly sugar.
I know, which ain't good for you.
Yeah, sugar ain't good for you. Put that in
Well,
t-shirt.
that much sugar.
Yeah, it's fair.
Sugar's good for you. You need sugar. But that much, and that concentrated, ain't the greatest for you.
I drink tea. That's the way I get most of my water. Because, like I said, I don't like how it tastes. And I prefer tea.
Yeah, so, on a scale, doesn't tea and, say, caffeinated drinks, don't do a good job of hydrating you as straight water?
Yeah, that's true. Pure water is the best way that you can get hydrated. Now, they're not, most people, tea and coffee are diuretics, which caffeine itself is a diuretic, which means it helps your body flush out its stuff. It helps kind of clear your kidneys out. Caffeine itself is, but it's so small in comparison that the amount of water that's in coffee and tea actually does hydrate. Now, not as well as something like, water or something
crunching
like...
ice?
Yeah, crunching ice or lemon water or like juice or something like that would. But they still do hydrate you. So it's okay if one of your ways of getting water is through things like coffee and tea. Now, you should drink water as well as that, but that's okay and actually is better than not drinking anything. Now you should avoid things like Coke and sugar drinks like that. They will still hydrate you because they still do have water in them, just not as much as other drinks. And if you do want something sweeter, like Gatorade and Powerade, like those type of sports drinks, they have the water and they have the electrolytes and all those type of nutrients that you kind of need.
Okay, so you bring up Gatorade and Powerade and stuff like that, like the non like Red Bull Monster type energy drinks. I have read places and heard, or I think it's more heard about how you shouldn't drink those unless if you're in active position of like using those electrolytes in like activity.
Yeah, actually, yeah. So
how true is that in like this situation of like water and stuff?
Actually, I used to work in a pharmacy as a technician, and I was talking to one of the pharmacists one time, and someone was saying that they need to drink some water because they're feeling kind of dehydrated and stuff like that. And she said, actually, drinking just straight water while you're dehydrated isn't always the best thing, especially if you're doing active things. You should drink something like Gatorade as well. So something like Powerade and water, Gatorade and water, drinking them both simultaneously helps actually get those in there quicker. Because while water does a good job of hydrating you, it doesn't work as quickly because it has less of electrolytes and that type of stuff as compared to a sports drink. That's why, they are what they are, is because they have more concentration in them. So you should drink them if you are dehydrated or extremely active, because they'll get those things to your body quicker and more higher concentrations. But if you're not, like if you're just sitting around, you maybe don't want to drink as much of those because your body doesn't need them as much, and it'll just absorb the sugar. And sugar is not great for you in high amounts. And a Gatorade is very sugary. Propel is better because it's essentially Pedialyte and water, except targeted towards adults. But yeah, no, you shouldn't really drink them too much if you're not using them, because why do you need to replenish something in that high concentration if you're not using it at all?
So you're better just drinking soda.
Yeah, that's why, actually kind of, that's why, so the common number that you're actually given by, researchers and scientists and medical professionals of how much water you should drink in a day is, on average, about 3 liters, give or take some. But really the trick is just to drink when you're thirsty. Your body has a very good way of telling you when it needs water, and that's, thirst. So, drink when you're thirsty, and then if you're not thirsty anymore, you're fine. There's a better way you could have worded that, but I'm just gonna leave that one there. So just drink when your body says you need water, and then, don't drink too much, because you can drink too much water, and that causes a thing called water intoxication. Because basically what happens is your blood has too much water in it, and it thins it out, so it dilutes your blood, and then that stuff doesn't get to your brain, and the blood stuff doesn't get to your brain as good.
So, taking that and coming back to our earlier point, is thinning out vampire blood a way to beat them?
See, that's an interesting thought. But wouldn't that maybe be better, because then they could drink it easier? Because it wouldn't be as thick. So it'd be easier to suck out.
Yeah, but once they had it, what about if it was already thin?
But then that goes back to the question of why do vampires suck blood? Which we still haven't answered.
Yeah, why do they suck blood?
Why do vampires suck blood? Again, I'm pretty sure these are all answered in Interview with the Vampire. Anyway.
We still haven't answered the question of how the best way to give blood poisoning to a vampire is. Someday we're going to figure that out.
Tetanus.
Just straight up just tetanus?
Yeah, just feed them tetanus. Just give them a bowl of tetanus.
I'm very sure that there are better, blood poisons.
Okay,
poisons of blood.
How about this? I will spend my time researching what the best way to give a vampire blood poisoning is, and then I'll come back and bring that up in a later episode.
Thank you.
This
issue must be settled.
Yeah, we're gonna have to settle this. I'll get a panel of vampirologists and vampire experts to talk about how to give vampires blood poisoning.
I like they're called vampirologists.
So there's water toxicity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Water intoxication. And that can be a serious problem.
Imagine getting intoxicated on water. The same way you would with, like, alcohol. That would, like, suck.
Okay, but, yeah, so, if I remember right, I think I read this, and this may or may not be true, that it's actually a more common issue of overhydration than it is, like, underhydration, like dehydration. It's a more common issue.
You read it, and you think it might be true.
I believe I am correct in saying this. If I am wrong, people will correct me, and I will feel sorry. But I'm going to say I am 95% sure. I am 90% sure that I'm 85% sure that overhydration is more of an issue than dehydration. I was reading I know this to be true. I was reading in a article recently from some scientific journal or website, that they did a study at the University of Chicago, and they put out some research, and it said that if like your urine is clear, that means you've drank too much water. So like you're just peeing out water. That's not good. Yeah. So really, it just comes down to drink when you're thirsty. It's okay to drink a little bit more. Try not to overdrink, and try not to underdrink. And don't drink too much sugar. And don't get them wet. Don't feed them after midnight, and don't expose them to sunlight.
If they are exposed to sunlight, give them more water. Because they're probably good.
Pour water on them because they might rest. Hey, running water does actually beat vampires.
They did. It does. You remember in the Netflix Castlevania, there was that 5-minute, like almost seemed like 5-minute gag of them just like talking about do vampires really get killed and are defeated by running water? Do you remember this?
I don't. I need to watch it. It's so good.
Yeah, so there's this whole bit where there's like these 3 vampires like just like going at talking about like how Greeks used to like bury like supposedly like vampire people like bury their dead on like small islands.
Yeah, right.
And they were talking about like they're going to like how baths. Like, is it running water? Like,
it was a toilet running water. That's the main question. Can we flush a vampire down the toilet?
If it's the same thing, I think just a garden hose would just be much better.
Just put your thumb over it.
Just put your thumb over it.
just try to aim it. Well, that's the problem. We need to find what running water.
Like once it hits.
What's with bad guys and water? Like,
water represents purity.
I always thought the whole river thing, like running water with vampires, it had to do with the flow of energy.
Rivers are flowing water and they're clean, right? Generally.
Okay.
You used to go get your water from the river and whatever, the flood and wells and stuff, But like anyway, it was like generally a clean place. It was pure water, and vampires classically were unholy creatures,
right?
That were dead, and which is why things like silver and Jesus worked against them.
Yeah, power of Jesus.
Power of Jesus and the power of being rich with silver.
Right.
And
liking aromatic foods.
Garlic, specifically. Yeah. Anyway, so they couldn't...
That's why there's probably no vampires in many in Italy, because there's like garlic and crosses and sunlight everywhere. Like, have you seen Florence? That city is just churches and garlic and sunlight. So that's why there's no vampires.
Well, we know where they go with the vampire apocalypse.
It's true.
Happens.
Tuscany.
Anyway.
Back on topic.
Back on topic. Unholy creatures are often defeated by running water, similar to like the Nuclevi from like Celtic.
Scottish. That's Scottish.
Scottish. Nuclevis, which were ocean demons. If they track you down and stuff like that, they're like, well, you're basically gonna die. If they wanted to kill you, there wasn't stopping them much. However, you could get away from them for a little while by crossing over streams of running water.
Right, because it would kind of deter them.
Yeah. I guess it's the fresh water.
So what we're coming back to is you need to drink water.
Okay, what we come back to is drink water until you're not thirsty, and live by running water so that unholy creatures don't kill you.
Yeah, I think that's solid advice. So this is where we're going to end it for today. We want to thank you all for listening to the very first episode of False Facts. You can follow us on Twitter at FalseFactsCast, and you can find me at Dr. Pistachio, PhD.
And you can follow me as well at MuleJoeChapel. Tweet at us if you have any suggestions, questions, or cool Snapple facts.
Our opening and closing song is The Moss by Cosmos Sheldrake, so follow him, and if you like the song, you can buy it on iTunes.
Thank you all for listening, and have a great week.
As to how the moral goes. Nobody knew and nobody knows how the bubble was robbed of his twice 5 toes, or how the dawn came to own a luminous nose, or how the jumblies went to sea in a sieve that they rode, and came to shore by the Chancalibo where the bone trees grow, where the Jabberwocky snow green tentacles do